What's up, everyone? Ian West here from Monarch Color Corporation for the first ever screenshot spotlight today with the team at Don't Lose Hope Screen Print out of Salem, Oregon. You guys go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hello, I am Elisa.
And I'm Rodney.
And so it's been quite some time since we've gotten to hang out in whether digital or in person. I was out there for the Anatol open house with you guys at your shop, and that was a whole lot of fun. Did you guys enjoy that? Did you guys get a lot out of that? Did you like the experience?
I love the open house. I thought it was really cool to bring something like that to our area.
We didn't know what to expect, but
Yeah.
it blew us away.
I was really surprised. I thought more like local folks would come out, and there really wasn't that many local folks. There's a few, but a lot of people came from quite a distance, from several hours away to a couple states away. So I was just really surprised to see that type of turnout.
That was flattering, and it was people that are not really in the online scene, which is who we luckily have connected with and get to talk with fairly often. But it was pretty isolated printers that were seeing so many things in our shop for the first time. They were like timid at first, but luckily by the end of both days, Rodney cracked them open and they were asking questions, feeling comfortable, and he was sharing stuff that's second nature to him. But I mean, this is a craft. You learn a lot from others. So if you're isolated, that's really hard to grow.
Yeah.
So I think it was great. We would love to do another one.
We had a, I've done a couple of those, and that was a great experience. But I think, I witnessed the same thing with you guys as we had people coming in, and everybody's kind of nervous. They sort of shuffle in and like not sure where to go or what to do or what to expect. And then you've got somebody like Rodney who gets up there and is able to tell, his story of how he started in screen printing and how he, how you guys built Don't Lose Hope. And everybody's like, okay, he's kind of like me, I kind of in the same way. So can you guys just, for the people that, weren't there, that weren't able to hear that, and I know you guys have done some stuff online showing it too, just tell a little bit about, Don't Lose Hope, where it started, how you kind of got into this, Rodney, and how you got to where you are today.
No problem. So I started in 2007 is the technical established date. So I was 17 years old. But I've been printing since I was about 14 or 15. I learned in high school, actually. So it was a high school program where in our graphic design class, the end of it, you got to make a t-shirt, and they had a small little Vastex setup, and I was super pumped about it and had a really good time doing that. And then I thought it was really cool, and I needed a summer job, and one day I was just riding my bike around and I saw a shop that said screen printing on it, and I clicked. I was like, oh, I know what that means now. And so I went into the shop, and long story short, I got hired on the spot. I started helping the guy move his shop, and then I learned a lot about commercial screen printing pretty quickly from a manual standpoint. Anyway, he had a couple manuals, but I was still in high school, and so I kind of helped grow a screen printing program at my high school. We started printing for clubs and organizations and things like that, which it's kind of funny. I'm still in contact with my high school teacher, but it was kind of child labor. but because I was spending not school hours printing at the high school for free. But it was
it's
was
child labor
cool.
and it's overtime. Yeah.
But it was cool because there's two things. I was really involved in BMX growing up, and I was really involved in band stuff. So I did two things. I started a BMX clothing line that kind of helped get my name out there regarding that. And then I did the norm, not the normal, but the pretty common scenario of I'm in a band, we need merch to pay for gas and food and lodging, and so that's what we did, and that's kind of where I got my start.
Using MySpace.
Oh, throwback.
I know.
Yeah, so I started having merch at shows, and some of the local shows would be the only ones with merch, and so it was pretty easy. People would be like, wow, who makes your stuff? Not that it was good.
And where were you printing it at the time?
I would either low-key use stuff from the school, without
Resourceful.
yeah, or the same at the print shop that I worked at. But then I also made my own setup at home in my mom's
Nice.
garage. So
Yeah.
started there, and yes, and then we started touring, and bands started hitting us up, and then I started just cold calling or cold emailing people on MySpace. And so I started printing for bands for Oregon, Washington, California, Idaho, kind of all over. And that's kind of where it started. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something I've noticed of screen printers, because I am not from the industry. I did take a screen printing class in college, actually. I wish I still
Oh,
had
okay.
the shirt,
Cool.
but I have photos. But one thing I've noticed is most printers are very MacGyver-like, and you have to be able to kind of hodgepodge your own setup. Don't you agree?
Oh,
I feel like that's a common thread among printers when you first start, because I mean, there is a little barrier to entry with the equipment. Not much, but you can also make it yourself. So the DIY aspect, I really like.
And I mean, that was definitely true for generation before me, but then kind of my generation of printers, I would say, like starting around the time I did, that's right when Ryan had started putting videos on YouTube and started making it more accessible to kind of learn things and to even know where I could buy supplies or equipment. But around that time still, though, a lot of it was very DIY.
What was the forum?
T-shirt forums. Yeah, that's a great forum. But so I started doing that, and I did that part-time / full-time for like 10-ish years. I worked in retail as a manager for about 10 years or so. And then right around the end of that is kind of when I met Elisa, and then we fell in love, and that whole story happened. And that's kind of around the same time that we went full-time into DLH.
I mean, he's downplaying it a little bit. I wasn't there for the whole journey, but he was working very full-time at Best Buy with a full team, and then printing after or before work.
And I was going to school full-time.
And going to school full-time, doing all that. I think he's crazy that he was able to keep it up that long, but...
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's not super sustainable.
No.
So, I mean, COVID was really the catalyst for so many entrepreneurs. He had gone full-time to part-time, back and forth with DLH, but always had kept it going. We still have so many clients back from your very, very first days, which is such a compliment.
That is
and
so
so
awesome.
After the pandemic, he was like, yeah, dude, let's just do it. And I was in the beauty industry. I had grown a salon with my 2 close friends and had run that for 5 years. And that's where I learned a lot about management, operations, entrepreneurship, and marketing. And I was like, well, maybe it's meant to be. So I was like, all right, this is my chance to shift gears, because that was always in the plans. And it's been so stressful, but so rewarding at the same time now doing this.
Yeah. So what is that process like? Because that's sort of a for both of you, honestly, that's sort of a lot of people get into screen printing as kind of a side gig, right? Something that they can do in their garage or in their house, or maybe start their own brand or something like that. But then to finally commit and say, hey, this is ours. We're gonna do this full time. This is our livelihood. This is everything. What's that process like? Is that something that are you ever ready for it? Do you just dive in and do it and say, okay, that we either do it now or it's not getting done?
Yeah, I can say that I wish I would have, done some things differently. I wish I would have taken some leaps a lot sooner than I did. I came from this mindset of never wanting to take on any debt. And so that is how I operated for the first 12-ish years of the business. Is every upgrade was paid for in cash. So I would work and save all the business money. And so going from a single station to a 4-station to 3 manuals to a bigger conveyor, et cetera, so on and so on, to where we're at now with automation and things. Before the automation part, all of it was done in cash, no debt. So I was just very scared of that. I just didn't want to do that. And I don't regret it in a sense, but at the same time, making this jumps into where we are now and realizing how much faster we're growing, is crazy. So I was always a little bit timid of it, but once we jumped in and I started going, and then I was like, I can't do this by myself, and I hired an employee, and I was super scared of that. And
Yeah.
he's been here for a couple years, and then 6 months after I went into it, my best friend Jason had been helping me for like 5-ish years, and part-time after his job, and I offered him a job. I was like, dude, let's do it. Like,
they had always joked, like, someday you're going to hire me and we're just going to be printers. And like, it was always this fantasy.
Yeah.
So to have it be real now is still
So
very
cool.
surreal.
yeah, he was kind of at this job that he wasn't super passionate about. And it was like, either we're going to succeed and you'll never have to worry about it, or I was like, or we're going to fail. And if worst case, we fail together, and you weren't super happy in the job you were in anyway. But now it's been several years, and we've grown to, depending on the day, 8 to 9-ish people. We have a couple part-time helpers. We have like
Nice.
6 or full-time people. And I don't know. It's really weird now to like, hey, we should probably need more help, and then we just like hire somebody, and it's an afterthought. Like,
I wouldn't put it that far. It ain't no afterthought.
It's not an afterthought, but in the sense that
It's second nature. It's something
not
you've
as
done, and now you can
scary.
do it.
yeah, it's not as
Yeah.
scary. Like
Yeah.
we kind of know when those levers are to pull, and
Okay,
Right.
my turn.
yeah, you go.
My answer. Okay. You have like the happy answer. I have like the chasm, I feel like, between being the solo operator like that I've seen with his journey, and then the place of getting to an auto and a team, I feel like is like 10 miles wide mentally. Like, there's not a lot to it. You take out a loan, you hire someone, but mentally, I think what is helpful is you have to feel very confident that it's going to be a lot of work, but you have to trust yourself. Like, you don't have a choice to fail. You have to do what it takes.
Yeah.
So it's not something you can half-ass. You have to put your whole everything in there
100%.
and just cry at night in secret where no one sees you and smile the next day.
Yep.
Just have
But
that
I
good
would
cry.
say the team members make the biggest difference. If we
Sure.
didn't have like the awesome culture that we've created and the team members we have, it would be really hard to make it through the really stressful times. They don't even
sure.
know about the stressful
Yeah.
stuff. But
Sure. Yeah, that's, being a business owner, that's sort of the way it is, right? You shoulder a lot of the scary stuff and a lot of the sketchy stuff, and you've got people that you're responsible for, their their livelihoods as well, and you feel a sense of responsibility for them. So, yeah, definitely that's a big thing that a lot of people just aren't able to do or willing to do because it is scary, and
it's a lot of
this
pressure.
it's a ton of pressure, and this is why I kind of want to do these and show people that, hey, you guys started the same exact place that somebody today is starting at right now, printing shirts for their bands or something like that, and they can have a not only do it, but they can start their business, they can hire people, they can have a legitimate operation that is a well-run company, and I think you guys are a testament to that that screen printer's dream, right? That
Thanks, man.
being the ones that are out there doing the next thing and thinking about, okay, how do we make ourselves better? What do we do more? And I didn't get a chance to kind of talk to you guys about this too much. At least I talked to you about this a little bit, but where do you guys see Don't Lose Hope kind of in the future? What are your maybe not immediate plans like next year, but 5 years, like what do y'all want to build this to be? Is this something you want to keep growing, or are you kind of happy where you are in the niche you've sort of carved out? What are you guys expecting?
For me,
I think we have different answers.
we probably have a little bit different answers. We're kind of at this like pivotal moment in our company where we're taking on bigger accounts. We're feeling some growing pains. We're feeling like pressure on deadlines and things that we didn't quite have before. And
Well, it's been like that the whole time, but we have been making so many changes and like behind the scenes been doing stuff, but we're still feeling the pain. And
Right.
so that's what
Yeah.
new. It's ever
So it's just building.
evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think at one point in time, I thought the idea of like a 3 to 5 auto shop was like really cool. I thought
Hmm.
that, and I'd been in a couple and thought that that was kind of the direction I wanted to go in. I don't think,
Very impressive.
yeah, I don't think that's my passion anymore. I
Yep.
think right now, so we're a one auto shop. We have some other things that are automated. Um, we do a lot of heat pressing as well. But I think, kind
Hmm.
of our goal, like I said, we're around that 8 to 9 head count. I'd like to probably see us where we're like comfortable with 2 autos, and somewhere around like 10 to 12 people. But
Yeah.
like investing in automation. So getting into, we don't have a CTS yet, like getting to a
Yep.
CTS, second auto
Yep.
at some point, another heat
Mhm.
press. Um, just automating as much as we can. We're doing a lot of automating on the operation side and the sales side with our Printavo stuff. So
Hmm.
Trying.
yeah, we're
There's
just
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
there's
yeah,
still only so much automating you can do,
right.
and the automation can't save you from still putting in the work. I
Sure.
feel like, and the skill and the being able to discern the right choices and things to do.
But
Yeah.
there's like other
Right.
things, like we've been working on like an inventory system that's finally being like implemented for our stuff. Just these little things that
Hmm.
really a shop at any size could do.
Yeah.
But it just making us as efficient as possible with
Our
the
short-term
smallest
goal
headcount.
is efficiency,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure, to save as many pennies as we can. In the grand scheme, um, I don't know. It's hard because we are both creatives. I feel
Hmm.
like what has helped us to grow and be memorable with our clients and the people that we like to surround ourselves with is that we do things differently. And unfortunately, that's just from inside. We don't really, I think if everyone leans into what lights them up, that will help
Yep.
them set themselves apart. I would really love to see us set ourselves apart for more specialty printing techniques,
Hmm.
like lots of color stuff. But it's hard. It's a balance. You have the more boring stuff that pays the bills really well and like
Right.
everything
Right.
runs and it's great and everyone's happy. But the more complex stuff that we like,
Yeah.
it's so stressful, but that's the stuff that gets the like wow factor. But
It's really exciting. It kind of takes sort of the mundane and puts something a little,
yeah.
sparkle on it. And you're like, okay, this is fun. This
It
is really
brings
cool.
it
This is
back
neat. Something
to the
new.
like art
Right.
Yeah.
versus
Yeah. Exactly.
a lot of what we do is utilitarian, but
Hmm.
what I really like. And so we have like our line, our merch launches, that's kind of an outlet where we can do more creative stuff. We
Yeah.
both
So I did want to ask about that as someone who is, wearing the
Sick.
merch here today and has
customer.
purchased more merch from
Yeah.
you guys. I even got my wife wearing the merch.
Yay!
Is that
Sick.
is that something you guys want to keep doing? Is that something you want to maybe grow that a little bit? Because luckily for you, don't lose hope. You're not Ian's screen printing shop
Yeah.
or something like that.
Sure.
Don't lose hope
Mhm.
can be a brand in and of
Yeah.
itself. Is that something you guys have thought about or something that you're working towards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I think
was
it's
that was
definitely a goal.
definitely intentional.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um Partly because, yeah, it is a creative outlet. Partly because, well, yeah, if we sell our own stuff, we're keeping more of the money versus just being the, you know.
Mhm.
So, but it's a lot of work.
And it was a way too that friends and family could support us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
Current screen
no
printing.
offense to our family,
Mhm.
but they'll, just like a non-informed client comes, like my family, be like, hey,
Sure.
I have this idea for a cool shirt. Can you make it for me? And it's like, it doesn't really work like that. And you got to explain it or whatever. But now we kind
Yeah.
of have this outlet for
Yeah.
friends and family and other people that we know or acquainted with, where it's like, yeah, go support us. Yeah, please buy a t-shirt from us. And
Yeah.
it's been really cool.
For sure.
That's something anyone can do. I mean, we would love. Here's the thing. What I've learned. There's a lot of things I think sound really awesome. And then once you do it and realize how much work is involved, you have to weigh the
Hmm.
ROI. So for the first part of my journey of being part of here, we've done lots of heavy marketing and just emphasis on our brand.
Mhm.
And so it's been great. I feel like we've established a really great foundation, but now we're pivoting more to sales to help, which was the purpose all along, establish our
Sure.
brand really well so that people feel comfortable and trust us. And now it's time to capitalize on that and
Yeah.
therefore streamline our operations. Like pretty much every move we've made has been with intention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, that's, you brought up the marketing, and that's, you know, one thing that really gets mentioned to me, you know, across the board, is just like how cool you guys are and how good your marketing is. And there's like this very intentional effort to
Why are
sort of,
you giggling?
So cool.
dial that in and really, you know, make a brand for yourself. And you know, it's made its ways across the industry. Like people here in North Carolina have heard about it and have heard about you guys and love it and love your team there. You guys, you know, I met them all. You've got an excellent team there. I just, you know, everything, your culture, your marketing, everything sort of speaks to kind of what you guys started before. What kind of drove you guys to be like, okay, we need to really improve our online presence? You know, we need to have you know, obviously it makes, you know, for your employees, it's fun for them too, right? It's
Sure.
an interesting thing to do. It makes the day go by a little faster. Fitting that into a normal work day can be hard when you guys, like you said, have a lot to do. So how do you balance that? What is the marketing like? Is it a plan, or is it something you just like think of and you're like, okay, let's do it. Let's try this.
Well, first of all, you're gonna make me cry. That's like the best compliment of all time.
Yeah, it's all her. So
I mean,
Like,
it's amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
And like we have a lot of customers across the United States, and you know, unfortunately, I don't get to be on the ground or interact with most of them. And it was really the marketing push that you guys did that put you on my radar. And I was like, holy crap, you know, this is amazing. I love these guys. This is awesome.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
huge compliment. It's awesome. I love it. Everybody loves it. So just talk about it and
Yeah.
tell us how awesome
So-
you are.
I'll say a quick little bit and I'll kind of hand it to her. But for me, like, you know, with skating and biking and things like that, you know, I was always like filming stuff, the camcorder, like really early on. And I was very into film and videography in college and did shorts and things like that. So that was, you know, I've always been like passionate about that. But then, yeah, once we started having like the team and I started like realizing like how creative everyone is, like they really are truly all super creative
group
in their
effort.
individual ways, and they all bring something to the table. But when I started realizing that, I was like, we have to like harness this somehow. But like you said, yeah, it is for them, like they enjoy it. It is fun. It is hard to balance sometimes. We're at that point now where there is a plan that goes into it. We have to like schedule these things.
Yeah.
Like today we're doing some marketing stuff and it's all
Cool.
planned and scheduled.
And I just got right in the middle of it, huh?
No, so there's, you know, on
We
the
bet.
on the funny stuff, like it's just fun. Like we all get to like we could be in the middle of like a super stressful order, but like, hey dude, tomorrow like we get to film this like silly holiday video or something.
Yeah.
And
Right.
everyone gets like really stoked about it. And it really does help, I think, our culture and our morale and all that fun stuff. And then on the flip side, the more serious stuff, I just really like this industry. You know, it's my passion, it's my life, and I love the craft, and I want the craft to continue. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I just like to, you know, give knowledge and educate however I can. So that's where the serious stuff comes in, and is to just put more knowledge out there. But she came in with the actual like, here's all that stuff, and here's like how we're gonna actually use it to help improve our business.
Yeah. When I wish we could like we could send you a photo of his like original website.
Oh, you can find it.
Because when we first were dating, I remember you were like making the new website in your bed on Wix, and I was like, what is that? But I was not,
to be fair,
yet.
Before that, I coded my whole website like in Dreamweaver. So like,
there.
I mean, Wix is a shortcut. It makes it a little faster.
I like to think smarter, not harder, or work harder.
Yeah.
And so that was my first priority when I came on, because basically my whole philosophy with us has been making everything, the customer journey, good enough for me because I'm a very picky consumer. So the number one thing I like to do is go to people's website and see what they're about, what they can do, just who they are. So that was the first priority for our website. It's already gone through 3 iterations in the 2-ish years I've been here. Now we're pretty set on what we have, which is great. But that's super important. I believe this is definitely a nugget any shop could benefit from. And it's a catch-22. A lot of people want to do really good on their marketing, but they're camera shy. They're scared to kind of put themselves out there. And I get it. But unfortunately, as someone thinking about working with you, if I have 2 things in front of me and one, I can see their face, how they act, their demeanor, versus someone where it's literally just the photos of shirts. I mean, it's not rocket science to know which one you're going to kind of feel more comfortable with.
Sure.
But my intention with marketing has just been, to me, all marketing is effectively showing through different channels how you operate and who you are as a person in a true, genuine way.
Yeah.
So it's lucky. I feel like I'm lucky because it is very easy to sell us because we are awesome.
Yeah.
If
It breaks down the wall.
if it's fake, you can kind of sense a
can
thing where
tell.
it's just for show.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, being on
it's a
camera,
science and an art.
it like helps
For sure.
break down that wall a little bit. I've found after doing this for a few years.
Yeah.
So even whether it's industry related, people recognize you, and it's just kind of easier to talk to because you kind of feel like you know the person. But it's the same thing with our clients. Like we'll be, a client will come in and they already know us, even though we've never met them before.
They know
Right.
that we are cool
Yeah.
to joke around
Yeah.
with, and
Yeah.
we're not like
Yeah.
Like we have like shop dogs that we like highlight sometimes, and they'll like
Yeah.
come in like, where are the dogs at? Like
Yeah.
it's just it just breaks that down a little bit and makes us. I feel like it makes it more approachable and
For sure.
just more comforting and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, customers coming in, so say somebody wants, to buy t-shirts for the first time, whether it's for a brand or for their business or something like that, it can be kind of an intimidating process. And like you said, you go to somebody's website and all you see is some shirts and you don't know what you're expecting when you
And,
walk
like,
through that front door.
contact form. That's it.
You're like, okay, this is still scary. I'm still not super happy about this, or they're trying to pull one over on me or something. But with marketing, like you guys are doing, where your faces are out there, we know who Don't Lose Hope is. We know who you guys are. It's much easier to then just walk into your shop and approach her, or give you a call and know who you're talking to, and be like, hey, I saw you guys on the video. This is awesome. This is a much more laid back kind of process. Do you guys see that play out? Do you guys see people being more comfortable with you first interaction on?
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it's hard because we do a lot of repeat. Like most of our clientele is repeat clients, but
no,
the
not
newer
everyone meets
people,
everyone all the time, and
every time someone says they love the website, I get just so happy.
Yeah.
So we get that sometimes.
we'll like do shop tours when people come in. Like we'll show them the showroom, and then we'll like walk around, and then it's like always kind of funny because someone will like walk into the back and be like, "Oh, I know that guy." Like talking to like Jason or Aaron or somebody else on the team. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah, I think.
And I think that's true, and it's something that we're trying to do here at Monarch a little bit as well. Is sort of I'm not naturally sort of an outgoing person. I don't have trouble talking to people. I don't have trouble being out and all that, but I'm not, I guess camera shy is maybe, one way to put it. But like you said, I want people to know Monarch as a company and like who we are and who I am, 100%. So that if I'm out anywhere doing anything, they can feel like they can approach me, and it's it's an easy sort of conversation to have from that point forward. So I honestly, we've taken a lot of motivation or inspiration from what you guys have done there as well, and what others have done in our industry. You don't see that in a lot of industries, that level of collaboration and sort of education that you do in screen printing, and everybody's kind of just willing to help everybody. And
Yes.
I know I've got shops here, if they wanted to pick up the phone and call another shop down the road or call you guys and say, hey, I'm having this problem, if Rodney had the time, I can almost guarantee you he'd pick the phone up and talk them through it until they got it right, and that
Yep.
sort of thing is what is really cool, about this industry and about the marketing, because like you said, it is about keeping the craft alive. It's about keeping, it fun and fresh and new, because this is such an old art. It's been around for so long, but it's still getting revitalized every year with something new, a fresh take, or this, or whatever it is. And it's cool to see you guys doing that kind of stuff, and the impact that it's sort of having, even, like I said, even over here in shops in North Carolina. It's just really, really awesome to see. One thing so when I was there, and I think everybody probably brought this up to you guys when we were at your shop, is just how damn clean it is. Like, you just don't see that anywhere. And I go into shops that I was like, dang, you guys keep this clean. And then I go into your shop and I'm like, is this a front? Is this fake? Did you guys just set this up or something? Like, it's amazing. And I think that sort of speaks to, kind of how you run the business and how you operate. Is that like do you guys break down at the end of every day and be like, okay, we're gonna wipe down any overspray that we have, or if we dropped any ink on the floor, it gets wiped? Is this a process that you guys go through on a daily, like a ritual?
Yep, 100%, man.
The beginning of the day.
Beginning of the day. So,
Okay, to be fair, obviously we were making it extra squeaky clean for the event.
but it
Sure,
is.
but I've been to shops that if they broke down for a week and did nothing, they couldn't get to that point.
Yeah, so it's just a mindset thing. I think it helps us quite a bit. We do a thing where the first 15 minutes every day, everybody has a cleaning task. So we have our shop broken out into zones, and so by the third day of the week, the whole shop has been retouched at some point. And then once a month or so, we'll schedule a little bit deeper cleaning. I don't know, this stuff is expensive. Our press is really expensive.
And it's a pride thing.
Yeah, so just keeping it clean it's just been a prideful thing. Not getting ink everywhere, I mean, that's a huge thing.
Like Aaron wears nice clothes to work.
Yeah, our team wears nice clothes. Yeah, and so it's just a pride thing, but it's also coming in and working 15 minutes and then checking boxes off. I did this today already. I think is really helpful for mindset in the team, because then they're going to be like, cool, now I got to hop on press for 8 hours. And so it just helps them it's like making your bed in the morning. You wake up and complete a task. And it just helps keep our shop clean. And
it's him though. He was the catalyst. I'm not a bed maker.
Yeah, I've worked in messy shops. We have team members that have come from other shops that are not quite as clean, and had to
I didn't know there was anything different. But now, and I mean, clean's cool, messy is cool, whatever. But after having multiple people come in and be like, wow, it's clean, I'm like, okay, so now we really it's our thing.
So it's a frequency thing. You can't just wait. If you wait until the end of the week and just deep clean your shop, it's very daunting. Well, like I said, we do this for 15 minutes in the morning, and it keeps the whole shop clean.
Still,
and then
that's production time. We're giving it up. So, of course, sometimes it's
But it's also, like I said, it's a little bit of a sales thing, too. We give all of our clients shop tours for the first time.
Right.
And
it's
you don't have to be embarrassed about it.
It's a super big deal when clients come in that have been to other shops, when they come in and wow, this is a clean print shop, they know that they're going to, they know that we take pride in what we do, and they're going to get, clean stuff, and it's not made in a a dirty environment or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the big things that kind of spoke to me is okay, you go into a shop like this, and once I realized that yes, you do actually print t-shirts there, this isn't an Anatol front. It definitely speaks to that sort of overall quality, that commitment to attention to detail that you're going to get from the moment they walk into your shop to the moment they leave with whatever, whatever shirt that they got printed. They know that you're going to take the extra care. If you're keeping your shop like that, you're going to take the extra care to make sure that the product they get is top notch.
Yep. Yeah, we don't have to worry about ink getting on things. We don't have to worry like dust on the press. We dust the press a lot because it's like inconvenient if you don't. It sets you up for failure because then all of a sudden you have dust falling in your screens and then it gets in your ink and then you have these issues, or like you have a stack of white garments and you're on a roll cart and you're pushing them somewhere and they rub against something and they get a bunch of dust all over it, and then you're sitting on a lint roller or something.
From experience.
Yeah. So it really does just make your day go smoother in a clean shop. 100%.
Yeah.
But I want to say, like, yes, we have talked a lot about how good we are, and thank you so much, Ian, for all the compliments.
Of course.
Yeah, appreciate it.
But like,
we're not perfect.
We are not perfect.
Yep.
We still have mistakes. Like, the team is still learning. As each new member that we add, it's like a whole new can of worms, and it's like him and I kind of get pushed back 10 steps from where we're going. And that's kind of also reminds me of what you were talking about earlier with, okay, I started as a manual shop, like I can get to DLH's point. Mindset, you have to know that it's going to take like 5 to 10 years to actually get where you're going. We still make mistakes. We still have to go over rules all the time. We're still changing things. He has a visual aid.
Yeah, like for Christmas, Margarita, our office account manager, got me my little desktop fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Puts out fires.
That's most of what my job is these days, is
putting out fires, right?
So
like the marketing, of course, and like from the outside, it's super easy to be like, oh, look at DLH, like, wow, they have a cool team. It's so easy for them. Like, that's not fair. Like, they must not struggle as much as us. Like, no, let's, for the record, set it straight that we try to focus on the positive in spite of all the struggles that everyone else goes with.
Sure.
We've endured the same hardship as everyone else. We still have a long ways to go before we feel really comfortable and stable with everything here. But again, we're just doing it in spite of it. We are focusing on the silver lining of the clouds.
Yeah.
And that's all you can do.
Be positive.
Yeah. I mean, that's the tough part about being an owner of a business is, like we talked about before, you get all the fires that are going on behind the scenes. You kind of, bear the brunt of that or any problems. And you try to, portray everything as it's all roses, but, behind the scenes.
You don't want to work with someone if they're portraying themselves as a hot mess,
right?
No.
So
or just putting out all the things that are going wrong for you at that time. I think it's, everybody has challenges, and you guys are no different. And, some people might have more than others, but I do think there is a power behind sort of positive thinking and a positive mindset and focusing, on the good stuff as much as you can, particularly for your employees and for your customers, not just trying to hide everything and pretend like nothing's ever wrong and everything's perfect, but, that mentality kind of makes the day a little bit easier and makes things go by a little better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's only through working through weird, crappy situations on press and clients being unsatisfied and all these other things, they're lessons. So I just try to be like, okay, we learned today. Let's try to not let it happen again. But I think the saving grace is also just the industry in general, because then we get to do stuff like this. We get to go do other extracurricular things, and there is a camaraderie when you are dealing with such crappy things that other industries don't really have. You're kind of a lone island, I think, in a lot of other industries. So even on the worst day of being a screen printer, it's still better than something else.
For sure.
So we service a lot of industries in printing, offset, flexographic, and some other as well. And you nail on the head. It's different. Screen printing is just different. You feel like with the other industries, you're dealing with companies, and of course, you know, in screen printing, you are as well. You know, you guys are a business. I deal with a whole lot of business, but you're also people. You know, you're people that you know, that I've met, that I've talked to, that I know, and I know, you know, you have personalities and all this other stuff, and there's this camaraderie that just doesn't. I mean, it literally doesn't exist in other parts of the printing market. So it's definitely cool to be a part of that. So just to get in one little Monarch thing, how did you guys get started with us? Like, what was your story there? You know, how did you get on our inks? And is there, you know, anything in particular you like or don't like, or that we can improve upon or be better for you guys? You know, that's kind of what we like to. That's kind of what we like to hear.
Yeah.
Right. Get your popcorn ready.
No,
I'm gonna tell you.
That's me. So my job now, and I got onto Monarch when I was still a one-person team. But a lot of my job now too is a lot of R&D stuff. So that's one thing that, regardless of your print shop size, that I can wholeheartedly recommend is invest time in R&D. Even if you're using products where you're like, this works great, love it, no problems with it. It's easy to get trapped in that mindset of like, oh, this is good enough type of thing, where all of a sudden, like, I get blown away all the time where we try something new and I'm like, oh, holy crap, this works better than what we've been using. But that's kind of where I was. This was like early pandemic time, and I heard about Monarch on the Shirt Show, actually. So heard about it there, and I was like, okay, cool. I hadn't come across it before, wasn't at a supplier that I currently shopped at, and so I decided it was getting some good reviews, and I was like, let's give it a shot. So I bought white and black, stark white and stark black, and tried them both out, and I was really impressed compared to what I was using at the time. And I had used quite a bit of inks. Part of my story that didn't really talk about is I also worked in some pretty big print shops, you know, a few years back. So been pretty exposed to a lot of different inks, but I was really surprised by how everything printed on the manual, which is where I was currently. And so I was like, cool, let's do it. I wasn't really happy with our mixing system. It was really like translucent on a lot of the top colors and things like that. And so I bought a couple of your pre-mix colors, and I was like, wow, these are super opaque, but they're super easy to print on a manual, which was key. And so that's kind of where I ended up. So I was like, cool, I'm just going to go all in. I bought a gallon mixing system of everything, and I was really stoked on the opacity of everything. So the top colors, or our mixing colors, the opacity was great. I love that. I like
investing. That is a big deal.
Yeah, it's not cheap. No, it's a big deal.
It's like a risk, but
you gotta be committed to doing PMS colors and that being you know, a part of your business.
Yep. So I was committed to that. I liked the Pantone accuracy. I never really had any issues. There's been like one or two times where I was like, this is definitely off, but 98% of the time it's been fantastic. And on Pantone as well, if you guys don't have something in the system, like, it's super easy, like, to just email the lab at Monarch and be like, hey, I need this formula, and we get a response back like same day, if not same day, next day. So like, we're not down or anything like that, waiting on a Pantone color, which is big. We try to be proactive and get this stuff done early, but sometimes it happens while we're setting up, and so it's important to have that ability to get a formula on the spot if needed. And
now we mainly use Monarch.
And also the all the mixing colors being ready to use. I know that is that way in some other mixing systems, but truly the however many gallons it is, the 20 something gallons or whatever of your mixing colors out of the bucket are all ready to use, and the colors are all great. We use the stock colors all the time, especially the neons.
Those are my favorite.
So I love all of that. That's everything that I love about Monarch. But
we do have some. I know, Elisa, you talked about it. We do have some more special effects stuff that's coming out very soon. We're going to be launching most of it at Impressions Expo at the
Cool.
beginning of next year. I would
Sweet.
love to send you guys some of that to try to get it on
Please.
press whenever you
Yes.
can. We've got some
Yeah.
cool like color shift, pearlescence, a couple other things coming out.
I would,
That's really
yeah,
Speaking my language.
really
yeah, I
neat.
would say, yeah, that a lot of our special effects stuff is other companies just because of that.
Yep.
But I know that
It's
you know,
really not something that we, you know,
Right.
it's such a niche part of the market. And now it is growing, you know, it's becoming a
Right.
bigger and bigger part of the market now as trends kind of shift back that way. But that was one hole that we kind of always had with special effects wise. We were just like, okay, we'd get a request for it here and there. And we were like, okay, we're going to
Right.
do all this R&D time and stuff to sell, you know, 2 gallons
Yeah.
a year of this or
Yep.
something like that. But
Right.
we have had quite a few more requests for specialty metallics, some more puff stuff,
Sure.
pearlescence, you know, top coats, all the good stuff that people are kind of bringing back around. So we would love to
Yeah,
send you guys
that's
some of
awesome.
that for you to try it out. So
Yeah.
Heck
I
yeah.
mean, as
all
a
right.
shop, well, we are plastisol based.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so I feel like there's a lot more special effects stuff in plastisol. And so by offering that and by us being able to use it, it's another way to set us apart. So that's what also makes me excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially if you guys could like work it kind of into some of your Don't Lose Hope branding stuff that you're doing, some of the merch you're doing there, then it makes a little more
Yeah.
sense to, you know, kind of maybe
Oh,
bring
yeah.
it on and have it at the ready than just be like, okay, hopefully somebody walks in and
Yeah.
wants this at some point, you know?
I know. I'm
Yeah,
always
doing-
trying to push split fountain on people.
Yeah, doing testing
Mhm.
on your own stuff is a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like for the first time of using something new, like
Not on a client.
Yeah.
Please.
yeah, like say you get like your
Right,
first puff job, like probably
Yeah.
don't like do it like the day the job's due for a client. Like
Nope.
just make a one color like shop shirt or something and test it
No.
on yourself first because
Yep.
you'll learn the hard way.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
yeah, no,
special effects can be
stuff
challenging.
is awesome. And so
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome to hear.
Cool. Yeah, so we'll get you guys out some of that, and you can test it for us
Cool.
and be like,
Will
hey,
you
this
be
is
at
terrible, or this is
Impressions?
awesome. I will. We will have a booth there, and this year we
Sweet.
will be doing some live printing. We'll have a manual press on there, just doing a little, I think either 3 or 4 color job. I haven't locked that in yet, but
Cool.
doing a little live
Awesome.
printing, give out some shirts there. So we'll have hopefully some of the special effects on the press there that people
Sweet.
can check out. So yeah.
I want to get a hang
Yep.
with you.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be
Yeah,
awesome.
we get
I mean,
Sure.
I'll say this, having you out to the open house
Mhm.
was just incredible. It's not often that you get to talk face to face and hang out with someone that, like, you and your company is such a big part of our success. And you are so down to earth, so humble, so welcoming, so approachable, everything
man.
good. And so that
Oh,
really
man.
like
Blushing here.
I didn't.
like you coming was the highlight for us,
Well,
honestly.
we knew that like I knew Monarch wasn't a part of like the big ink
Yeah.
groups, right?
Mhm.
As far as screen printing goes.
Sure.
But like we got to meet you and
Mhm.
found out that it's a family business
Yep.
and stuff like that. So
And just
don't-
how involved you
Yeah.
are speaks volumes.
Yeah,
It
awesome.
creates so much trust for us as clients.
Yep.
And so we love what you're doing, and we
Yeah,
can't wait
I mean
to see how it grows.
this is really my favorite part is being able
Yeah.
to talk to people and you know, I wish I
Yeah.
got to see more customers, but it was so awesome to be out there for that show. You know, I hadn't you know, that was maybe my second time in Oregon in my whole life, and you know, I just love it there. It's you know, one of my favorite places to be, and it was, you know, I've done several open houses. Don't tell anybody else that. Was you guys were my favorite shop. It was amazing. You know, you guys took me out to dinner. I loved it. The restaurant was awesome. It was just so much fun. And it's like you said, that being able to kind of have this face to face and talk and just do like what we're doing
Yeah.
right now is just so, you know, valuable to me. It keeps things fresh and keep things a little more positive when things maybe aren't so great. So I really appreciate you guys. Really appreciate you.
Yeah,
You know,
thank you,
you
man.
doing this for us. The first ever episode of the Screen Shop Spotlight. You guys
It's
are
an
the number
honor.
one. First,
Yeah, thank you.
First. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. And we will catch you guys on the next Monarch Color Screen Shop Spotlight. See ya.
Thanks, man.
Bye.